As they continue their journey to gather the soul fragments, they arrive at the healing river, and Sorrow reveals that people also go to that river to pray for their wishes to come true. Ying wonders why there aren't a lot of people around the river, and Shu explains that it's because of the incident in the mine, which made the fairies withdraw from the area, thinking there are demons. This gave the area a bad reputation, so everyone is now afraid to go there, because they could die before they reach the river. Shen and Yun bathe at the river, and Shen notices that Yun's wounds are healing. They see a mysterious man named Mugen staring at the sky, so Yun approaches him, trying to talk to him, but Mugen ignores him. He walks closer, as Shen gives him his equipment, asking him about the man. Yun thinks Mugen is not an ordinary person, and Shen senses the danger, suggesting that they should go back. Yun agrees to this, but Mugen notices his swords, and they are stopped by him. Mugen remembers the duel he had with the strongest demon hunter named Chen, who also wielded the twin swords. Chen tries to fight him with one sword, but he gets pushed back, so he decides to get serious, pulling out his second sword. Their swords clash, and they appear to be evenly matched. Mugen unleashes his ultimate skill, shattering the ground around him as Chen spins his swords around, combining his swords and transforming it into a double-bladed staff. They charge at each other with everything they have, and Chen comes out on top as Mugen gets injured, leaving a scar on his face. Mugen tells Yun about this, but Yun thinks that his story doesn't make sense because the swords were given to him by his father. However, Mugen is convinced that he is holding onto Chen's swords, saying he doesn't deserve to wield it because he isn't the strongest demon hunter. Yun says he intends to become the strongest, and he thinks he must defeat Mugen to earn that title. They are about to fight, but Chen gets in the way, telling Mugen that they don't know anything about Chen, and at that moment, Shu arrives, and Shen informs her about the situation. Shu tells Mugen not to cause trouble, but he swings his sword, intentionally missing her. But the attack destroys a massive rock in the distance, surprising everyone. Mugen wants to fight Yun, but Ying suddenly arrives, recognizing him as the strongest swordsman of the demon clan because of the sword he's wielding. Ying tells Mugen that Yun is not in his best condition, saying they went there to heal him because he's injured, so she suggests waiting for him to recover before they fight. Mugen gives Yun half a day to recover as he spreads his energy around the area, telling them that they will all die if they try to escape. They return to the ship, where Ying reveals that Mugen stole the sacred sword from the demon clan. This angered the former demon king, so he tried to hunt Mugen down, but Mugen killed him in the end. Shu thinks they don't stand a chance against him, but Yun reminds them that he lost to Chen, saying the swords must be the key to defeating him. He reveals that the swords are passed down by the chosen demon hunter, and it contains a hidden power inside, which can only be activated by the chosen one. He thinks that he might be able to use the sword's power, but Shu says it's too risky, suggesting that they should retreat. However, Sorrow knows that they can't escape, saying Mugen will know about this, because he spread his energy around the area. Yun tells them that he won't retreat, saying he won't put their lives at risk, as he tells them that they will likely encounter more powerful opponents in the future. He remembers how he survived because of his father's courage, saying he never ran away from the demons, and he says he will protect Shen, but Shen claims he doesn't need to be protected. Yun bathes at the river, and Ying joins him, knowing that he always had a thing for her. She notices the scars on his body, seeing it as proof that he protected Shen, and she tells him that Shen is afraid to lose him, revealing that she still can't get over the death of her sister. She doesn't want Shen to feel the same pain she is feeling now, so she tells Yun not to die. The next day, Yun has fully recovered, and Sorrow uses his magic to improve his speed. He also wears a spider silk armor that was made by Ying, and it's exceptionally tough. Yun tells Shen that his opponent is stronger than him, so he might end up dying, but he explains that he can't back down because demon hunters need courage to defeat evil. Yun believes that they need to risk their lives even if the opponent is stronger than them, saying they can defeat any opponent if they turn fear into courage. In a flashback, we see a young Yun looking at the twin swords. He is about to touch it, but Gong stops him, telling him not to mess around. Gong reveals that only the chosen demon slayer can wield it, and even he isn't worthy to do so. Yun wants to be the chosen one, but Gong calls him arrogant, saying he still has a long way to go. Back in the present, Yun tries to attack Mugen, but he gets pushed back. Mugen counters, slashing his chest, but his armor protects him, but when Mugen thrusts at him, The armor isn't enough, and he gets injured. Sorrow notes that Mugen's sword is longer, so he has the advantage in terms of reach. As Yoon struggles to dodge Mugen's attacks, he remembers when he would fight against his father, who would hit him on the head with his staff. Yoon calls him a cheater because of the length of his weapon, and he starts running away as Gong chases after him. Yoon suddenly throws his weapon, but Gong deflects it and knocks him down, causing him to yield. Gong tells him that his tricks aren't effective, telling him he needs to train. We see Yoon training at night when he is suddenly attacked by bats. He swings his sword around, but he can't hit them, and they surround him as he notes that the bats aren't afraid of him despite his longer reach. As a bat bites him, he realizes that a weapon's reach can be countered with good technique. The next day, we learn that the bats have been defeated. Yoon has a rematch with his father, where he is able to pressure him with his technique. Gong attacks with his staff, but Yoon narrowly evades it, and he manages to catch his father, winning the duel. Yoon's fight against Mugen continues, and he throws sand around so that he can close the distance. They fiercely exchange blows, and Yoon parries his attack, following up with his own strike. Everyone thinks Mugen is done for, but Mugen survives, saying it's time for him to get serious. A dark energy surrounds his blade, as he attacks with a skill which causes Yoon's armor to crack. Ying reveals that the armor will break if the same point is attacked repeatedly, and Mugen continues to use the skill as Yoon struggles to dodge the attacks, but he ends up getting hit, causing the armor to break. Yoon tells Mugen that he's too strong, saying he doesn't stand a chance. In another flashback, a man tells him that there is a monster in the village, so he starts looking for his father, but Gong is nowhere to be found. He takes the swords from the house, and he rushes to the village, but along the way, he sees a bear trying to attack Shen. Yoon throws snowballs at the bear, grabbing its attention as he prepares to fight it. Back in the present, Yoon continues to fight, as he notes that Mugen is so much better than him, but he knows that he must fight on, because it is his duty to protect Shen. Yoon gets knocked down, as Mugen tells him that he's just wasting his life, because he's too weak to protect other people. But Yoon thinks that it is worth sacrificing his life to protect someone important. He recalls that when he fought the bear, he got injured, and his blood flowed through his swords, unlocking a mysterious power which surrounded the swords with a dark aura. He becomes filled with killing intent, and he charges at the bear, but Gong suddenly arrives, knocking him down. Gong tells the bear to hibernate in the cave, threatening to kill it if it causes any more trouble, and the bear crawls away. They return to the house, where Yoon apologizes for his actions, asking him why he doesn't want anyone to use the twin swords. Gong tells him that the weapon requires discipline, because its power could backfire. He reveals that the user can sacrifice his blood to awaken the demon in the sword, and acquire greater power. However, this is a very risky technique, because the user could end up losing his life in the process. Yoon decides to try this out, slashing his arms, and causing his blood to cover his swords. He becomes surrounded by a dark aura, as he lets out a powerful scream. Mugen recognizes the technique as blood sacrifice, and Yoon swiftly dashes toward him, blowing him away. With this new power, Yoon manages to pressure his opponent, as Sorrow notes that the power isn't human. Yoon corners Mugen, but he tells Yoon that it's not enough, and Yoon gets pushed back. Mugen tells him that he's nowhere near Chen's level, saying he lacks the intent to kill. We return to the battle between Mugen and Chen, where Mugen wonders what he's thinking about, because he doesn't seem to care about winning. Chen states that he just wants to end everything, but Mugen thinks that he speaks nonsense. He thinks that fighting is about the survival of the fittest, but Chen doesn't share his sentiment, saying it's a path that never ends. Mugen charges at him, but as they exchange blows, Chen tells him that there are beings superior to them, so his quest to become the strongest will never end. Chen uses his ultimate skill to defeat Mugen, and to this day, he still remembers the attack, knowing Chen could have ended his life that day. Mugen manages to push Yoon back, throwing him into the river, but he immediately gets back up, as Mugen wonders if Yoon will be able to make his wish come true. Yoon continues to fight back, and he is happy because Yoon is finally putting up a good fight. Shu thinks Yoon is about to turn the tables, but he suddenly approaches them, which makes them confused, as they wonder what's wrong with him. They realize he has lost control, and he starts to attack them. He starts seeing everyone as enemies, so he charges at Ying, but she manages to dodge his attacks. Sorrow blows him away with his magic, and he freezes him while he's down. Shin checks up on him, but Yoon pushes him away. Yoon says that he will kill all demons as he breaks free from the ice, trying to attack Ying again, but he gets stabbed by Mugen, causing him to fall and lose consciousness. Yoon gets a vision of the twin swords, saying he can still fight, so he asks it to give him its power as he grabs onto it. He sees the memory of Chen, who goes to a village on a mission with Gong. As they walk around the village, they realize that everyone is suffering because of the famine. Gong gives the children some food, as an old man asks Chen to save everyone. A child comes running, warning everyone that the demons have arrived to eat them, as demons appear, and one of them tries to attack Chen, but he is instantly taken out. The demons gang up on Chen, but he easily takes them all out. He makes his way to a nearby cave, where he sees demon children crying. An old demon begs him to spare the children, as he bows before him, saying the kids are innocent. Gong catches up with him, reminding him about their mission to kill the demons, but Chen says he just can't do it, because he doesn't want to slaughter the other races for the humans to survive. Gong thinks they need to eliminate the demons to make the world a better place, but Chen disagrees, saying endless killing can never change the world. He tells Gong that he's going to the west, thinking he will find a way to end everything, as he promises to return one day. Chen reaches a city, which is littered with demon corpses. He inspects one of the bodies, and he learns that the attacker used a deadly sword technique. He investigates a building, where he encounters Mugen, who has just finished killing the demons. Mugen can feel the souls of all the demons that Chen has killed, thinking he must be the strongest human alive, so he challenges him to a fight. After some time, we see Gong leading a group of humans during winter, and they take shelter in a cave. As Gong stares at the horizon, he sees a man approaching, and he realizes that it's Chen, and we see him holding onto a baby. They go back to his house, and Gong offers to take care of the child. Chen seems to have learned something during his quest, saying there's going to be chaos, and he gives Gong his swords, telling him that he doesn't have much time left, so they need to leave the future to the children. Yoon regains consciousness as he lies on the healing river. Mugen removes his sword, and he starts walking away, saying Chen spared him in the past, so he's just returning the favor, but he tells Yoon that he won't show mercy next time, saying he owes him a real battle. Mugen leaves, and Yoon's injuries are healed, and Shen is glad he is okay. Yoon tells Shen about his dream, saying it must have been a memory fragment left in the twin swords. Shen wonders if his staff also has something to do with Chen, but Yoon says they will need to find the soul fragments to figure it out. They return to the ship, but they don't know what to do next, because they need to gather the soul fragments, but also learn about the secrets behind the twin swords. Sorrow tells them about Shaolin, the most well-informed place in the world, and he mentions it's the only city where immortals reside in this realm. Its civilization is incredibly advanced, and the brothers are excited to see it, so they make their way to the city. At Shaolin City, we meet the young master Chen Yu, as a Persian princess is presented to him as a bride candidate. His butler Fu informs him that she is good at dancing, and she demonstrates this on the spot, but Chen Yu isn't impressed, so Fu tells her to leave. Fu wonders why he doesn't like any of the princesses presented to him, since he has already rejected 999 candidates, but he is confident that Chen Yu will like the last one, as he calls out to an evil enchantress. A charming woman appears, and she manages to grab Chen Yu's attention, but when she removes her mask, revealing a hideous face, he is instantly turned off, and he runs away in horror. While outside, Chen Yu recovers from the traumatic experience, and he thinks Fu has terrible taste in women. He reveals he is already in love, and it turns out he likes Shu. We learn that she made a promise to marry him when she returns, and Fu tells him that he will prepare a wedding for them as soon as she arrives. Meanwhile, Shu is acting weird, and Sorrow wonders if it's because she doesn't want to go to Shaolin City. Shu tells him that the governor of the city may not have the answer they're looking for, but Sorrow thinks that the emperor might be able to help them. At that moment, Shen tells them that the staff is responding to a soul fragment, and it's pointing toward the city. They arrive at the entrance of the city, and they are surprised by how beautiful it is. The guard stops them as a drone scans each of them, and the drone allows them to enter. There is suddenly an announcement that young Master Chen Yu will have a grand wedding in 3 days, inviting everyone to attend the ceremony. Shu is surprised that Chen Yu is about to get married, and she seems to be upset. As they walk around the city, a fruit vendor tells them that her goods are free to celebrate the young master's wedding. Shu pesters her about the details of the wedding, wanting to know everything about it, while Ying wonders why she cares so much about it. At that moment, a group of soldiers arrive, welcoming them to the city as distinguished guests, and telling them that the young master is waiting for them at the palace. They are surprised by this treatment, and they enter the palace, where they have an amazing meal, as Chen Yu welcomes them to the city. Ying congratulates Chen Yu on his engagement, saying it was a surprise, so they weren't able to prepare a gift for him. However, Chen Yu states that they already have the biggest gift for him, and they realize that Shu is actually the bride. We learn that Fu has already made preparations for the wedding, when they confirm that Shu returned to the city. Chen Yu reveals that he has recorded her information in the security system, so the wedding festival was automatically triggered when she returned, reminding her about the promise she made to him. In a flashback, we see a young Shu protecting Chen Yu from a group of bullies. The bullies look down on Chen Yu because he's from the lower realm, so they threaten to beat him up, but Shu defeats all of them. Chen Yu thanks Shu for saving him, saying she's amazing, and he wants her to go to Shaolin City when she grows up, because he wants her to be his bride. Shu wonders where bride is, and Chen Yu tells her that the bride gets to spend all of his pocket money, so she promises to be his bride. Back in the present, Chen Yu reveals that he has been waiting for her to return, and he is happy that they can now hold the wedding. However, Shu tells him that she didn't know what a bride was because she was too young at the time. She reveals that she asked the bullies to target him, threatening to beat them up if they didn't comply, because she wanted him to owe her and pay for her food. But Chen Yu says he doesn't care, saying those details don't matter, because she already made a promise to him, and she returned to the city. Yun tells him that Shu returned for the wedding, and this makes her upset, as Shen notices that she doesn't want to get married, but Yun thinks that they could use the wedding to meet the emperor, so they all decide to play along. Sorrow gives a signal to Shu, reminding her about their mission to find the soul fragments. She knows that she needs to deal with Chen Yu to complete the mission, so she decides to play her part until the day of the wedding. Shu goes to her room, as the others gather outside, discussing what they should do next. They are worried about Shu, and Ying wonders if she will stay in the city to get married, but everyone thinks it's impossible. The staff responds to a soul fragment, and Sorrow tracks its location, giving them a lead to follow. That evening, we see Shu in her room, thinking about the promise that she made. She doesn't want to proceed with the wedding, so she plans to run away after they complete their mission. But we learn Chen Yu is actually the holder of the soul fragment, and he swears he will never allow Shu to leave again.